All right, so I just wanted to discuss in a little bit more depth some of the notes that I think were missed in The Last Jedi and how it resulted in certain characters being marginalized and diminished in either their role or their function or even in their own essential character as to who they are. This isn't meant to be exhaustive. It's just some of that come to mind. One of them is Maz Kanata. We were introduced to her in The Force Awakens. She's this cool, mysterious owner of the Skywalker lightsaber. She has some really penetrating words to say to Rey. She knows stuff, and she makes a very brief sort of appearance in The Last Jedi in sort of a video conferencing call. She's taken from this cool, mysterious person, and instead of any sort of depth or anything more about who this person is or why she's the kind of a person that would come into the story in the way that she has or into the possession of the Skywalker lightsaber, all she's relegated to is a phone call where now she's just sort of, cracking off these one-liners while she's in a shoot 'em up with some people that are off camera. It's sort of like a video game, and she's jumping around and shooting people and cracking one-liners. Totally diminished. Captain Phasma, okay, presented in The Force Awakens as this intimidating, aggressive leader within the stormtrooper units, and again, she's got her own unique chrome armor. She's different. She's unique. Instead of developing Captain Phasma, giving any sort of a backstory or revealing anything more that's interesting about who this person is, she makes a very brief appearance in The Last Jedi, only as, again, sort of as if you were playing a video game. She's the level boss, so you can get to the next level. She just shows up, sort of in the last minute thing, and the only purpose that she serves is for Finn to fight, and then she's killed off. That was it. Goodbye, Captain Phasma, marginalized. Other characters, Finn, I felt was marginalized, and he's a fantastic actor in this role. Even though he's prevalent because it's got his own storyline in that regard, he's one of the main characters, if you will, but he's sent off on this wild goose chase away from everybody else. I just felt like it wasn't a good use of the Finn character there. That's my opinion. C-3PO, he's nothing but set dressing in this movie. Does absolutely nothing, adds nothing. R2-D2, same kind of thing. He maybe has a slightly more he has a slight more of a purpose for being included in this movie, if only to sort of evoke a response from Luke Skywalker. Again, I felt like Luke Skywalker was diminished in this film, not because he didn't have a lot of screen time, but I just felt like his character was diminished. I feel like Skywalker is his own video, so I don't want to talk any more about that. But Snoke, I felt like was diminished. Here again, you have a character who mysteriously rises. Has all these questions about who Snoke is, where did he come from. He's an incredibly powerful Force wielder. Of course, we were left to sort of guess that in The Force Awakens, like, okay, so who is this guy? What is he really capable of? Here in The Last Jedi, we see without a doubt that Snoke is on the level of an Emperor Palpatine in terms of his just sheer power to wield the Force, to connect minds, to do all sorts of things. that he does. So where did he come from? Why was he never, heard from or seen? You know, how did Luke never sense um, that Snoke was rising, or where he was coming from? Because obviously this has got to be concurrent with Luke's attempt at a reboot of the Jedi religion. So how did he not sense who Snoke was? Why did he never confront him with what was going on and how he was manipulating Ben? And you know, then he gets killed off. So he gets killed off like a punk. I mean, it was. I have to say, the scene in which this happens was actually a really good scene in the film, but not because of the way that Snoke died. It wasn't satisfying in the way that the death of Emperor Palpatine was satisfying. It certainly wasn't um, used in any sort of um, capacity like that. He was off like a punk, like Darth Maul was just, it was a similar kind of thing where, when Darth Maul was introduced and we first saw that image of this dude with the tattoos and the horns and the cape, and you were thinking, holy smokes, we're going to see a character that, would give a Darth Vader a run for the money. I mean, this guy just looked like evil incarnate, right? You get to the movie and he's introduced and then killed off like he's nothing. And I think now that we're talking about it, I think the creators eventually understood what they missed in the character of Darth Maul, and you see the evidence of that. This isn't just one guy's opinion. You see the evidence of the fact that they missed it with that character, in the fact that they tried to resurrect him. They tried to give him, a brother, I think, in sort of the alternate universe things. They've tried to resurrect this Darth Maul character in video games and comic books and cartoons, because they knew they created something really cool and then they killed it too soon. Snoke is killed off in this film, and there's no emotional connection to it. Apart from what's going on between Kylo and Rey, we don't care about him. He's introduced in the first film. In the second film, we see he's this amazing, wielder of the Force, an incredibly evil person. But there's no questions answered about who this guy is or what his purpose is, where he came from, and how it's got to this place. And then he's killed off. Again, marginalized. So I feel like maybe there's other examples of that, but these were just a few that came to mind. And I'll add some more thoughts in another video.